Cian, I'm 17 and I go to Donnybrook Church and I attend the youth every Friday night. I grew up in an average Catholic home, you know, born into a Catholic home, made my confirmation, whatever. But when I was 3, my parents split up, and so it caused a lot of inconvenience for my life, and it wasn't so simple. And I started playing a lot of soccer when I was young. It was a thing to do, like, you know, when I used to go with my friends, like, I'd play soccer, and that was like the most important. But older, going into primary school and stuff, like, I started hanging out with guys that were a bit older than me, and like all the time, like, I'd want to impress them and like be cool and not be different. And like growing up, it was weird not having a dad, I suppose, but I didn't really know what it was like anyways, because I was only 3 when he left. So like it wasn't like I was totally distraught when my dad left, because I was too young to understand. But like maybe when I was about 6 or 7, my mom met a guy called Thomas was his name, and he was a born again Christian, and he brought us to like a born again Christian church. And like I was young and I went along because I had to. I was like a Christian in church, and like I was a good kid with my parents. And then when I was with my friends, I was cool, and I was like willing to do anything, like willing to like go rob sweets or like, you know, just petty stuff. But like I wasn't living right. And it wasn't until I was about like 11 or 12, and I was at a conference where there's like churches from all over Ireland came, and it was called Summer Fire Conference. And I was at one of the meetings, and I remember the pastor was asking for an altar call, and at this stage, you know, I was a cool soccer kid, you know, like everybody thought I was cool, and I was good at soccer, and like it was all about being cool and being me, you know. And I had my hair spiked up, and like just Jesus and God wasn't cool. Like to go up for an altar call wasn't cool. And like the pastor is preaching and he's calling people up, and like the worship music's going, and like then a few people start to go up, a few younger guys or a few older guys, doesn't matter. But like just it wasn't me anyway. It wasn't me going up, but I felt God. I felt God calling me, you know, because I had to go up. And none of my friends were going up, and I was just waiting. I was like, oh God, if one of my friends go up, then I'll go up, because I wouldn't be on my own. And I was like, oh, I can't. It was too heavy. It was like a burden on my heart to go up, and like it was so heavy that I just had to go up. And so like I swallowed my pride. God was like really like pouring His presence into me for the first time, and like it was so overwhelming, because like I never felt it before ever. And so Jesus became first in my life, and God, and like I was happy in church, and I was willing to like stand up for it in school. And like it was hard, it wasn't always easy. Like I learned a lot. It was all to teach me like that I'm imperfect and Jesus is perfect, and it's in Him I find my trust and find my peace. And it can't be my own ability, because I'm just going to mess up. Like having your faith in Jesus, and like just being willing to do what He wants, and just loving Him. It's all it is like having a nice loving relationship with Jesus. Like music as well. Music is another like passion of mine, but it's not my purpose. I've heard of preaching recently where you're supposed to have a passion, and you're supposed to be the best you can at everything you do. And like I try to be the best. It's all to glorify God, and it's my passion. Like soccer and music and playing guitar, they're my passions, they're my hobbies, but they're not my purpose. You see, like Jesus is my purpose, and it's all for Jesus and it's all for God. And like that's what's important, is that you don't let your passion become your purpose. Like Jesus said, the only reason why He doesn't take us to heaven straight away is to live for Him and to further His kingdom. And so it's basically to save souls and to be a testimony to people. And it's the same as school. Like it says in the Bible also that iron sharpens iron. So like when you're with your friends, you know, like they can encourage you, and like they might be going through something, you might be going through something. When you come together, when you like discuss it, or when you just have a laugh, then you can be encouraged, and you can be made better. You can have a bit of joy in your heart, you know. And ultimately it's from God, and it's God working through your friends, working through your Christian friends. There's a lot of support from the church too, you know. Especially when you get involved, you know. I'm starting to play guitar now a bit in church, and I lead worship every now and then. You know, it's like it's a blessing when you give back to what's been what's been given to you. You know, there's so many leaders and pastors that have poured into me, and it's a real blessing to be able to pour into the younger generation now, since I'm moving on a bit. When you think that God can't take you any deeper, or when you're saying, okay, I'm okay here now, and then He just brings you deeper again, and He cracks open a new batch of just amazingness for you. it's unreal, and it's a great life. You know, I couldn't imagine being outside church and outside God.
And it's just